Hi everyone, it's Tatyana from Tatyana's Everyday Food, and today I'm really excited to share with you guys one of my mother's favorite dessert recipes. It's a sponge cake topped with a delicious fruit mousse. And to make the mousse, we're going to be using whipped cream, cream cheese, Jell-O, and of course, fresh diced fruit. So I've already prepared my sponge cake, and I used half a recipe of my traditional sponge cake, and you'll find the video recipe link in the video description below and also on my channel or my website. But I give you step-by-step instructions for how to make a perfect sponge cake each time. And again, I used just half a recipe, and I prepared it in my springform pan that I'm going to use to make the dessert. So it's going to be the same shape. I've let it cool completely, and then I'm going to slice it in half before I start my cake. For this recipe, I'm going to be using a 9-inch springform pan. My first step is to line it with parchment paper. So I'm going to line the bottom and the sides with parchment paper. It's going to aid us in two ways. It's going to help remove the cake from the pan. It's also going to give us a little bit more height on the sides. I'm going to start out by preparing my strawberry Jell-O. Now you can use any fruit Jell-O flavor that you like. I think the strawberry gives the cake a really great color. I'm using 6 ounces, but I'm using only half the water. So I have 1 cup of boiling water here, and we're going to add 1 cup of cold water. I'm going to add my Jell-O into my boiling water. You want to stir it until it's completely dissolved. Now I'm going to add my cold water, and I'm going to place this into the refrigerator, and the next step is very crucial. You don't want the Jell-O to set completely. It needs to reach like the semi-set stage, and then you need to take it out of the refrigerator and let it sit on the counter. So while our Jell-O is setting in the refrigerator, we could start working on the mousse. So I need about 1.5 cups of diced strawberries. We need 1.5 cups of blueberries. I have some peaches here, and then about 3/4 cup to a cup of diced mandarin. And you can add any type of fruit that you like. Anything that you have on hand is going to taste really great in this recipe. I'm going to set the fruit aside, and we can start working on our whipped cream. For my whipped cream, I'm going to be using 2 cups of heavy cream. I'm going to place everything into a mixer bowl. I'm also going to be adding 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. I'm going to whisk this all together until stiff peaks form. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And next I'm going to add softened whipped cream cheese. And this is about 8 ounces. I'm going to add it in slowly in small little batches until it's all whipped together. Once your Jell-O is semi-set, just take a whisk and whisk it up just to break up any bigger pieces. Just to smooth it out. And now I'm going to add it directly into my whipped cream and my cream cheese. And from here on out, you want to work quickly because it does start to set up pretty fast. So I'm going to add it in here, and I'm going to whisk it on high speed until it's well incorporated. Just pour it right in there. As soon as I have my Jell-O whisked into my whipped cream, I'm going to start folding in my fruit. I'm going to add all my fruit in at once. Just use a spatula and fold everything in together. And now for assembling our cake. So I'm going to drop down my first layer of sponge cake to the bottom. And this will help just keep the parchment paper straight up. It'll really just set everything up to make things super easy for us. And now for adding our mousse. So I actually like to use a ladle. Kind of just ladle it in there. It makes it a lot easier and a little faster. I'm going to add my next layer of sponge cake and then top it off with the remaining fruit mousse. Take a spatula and just even out the top of the cake, and then this needs to go into the refrigerator. It needs to sit for about 2 hours just so that mousse can really set up, and then we could take it out of the spring form. Just really even everything out at the top. Once your cake is all set, and it might take a couple hours, you can go ahead and undo the spring form, and we can lift this up. It should slip right up. And very carefully, just go around the cake and peel away the parchment paper. It should slide right off, just like so. And now to carefully slide it onto a cake platter, just insert a spatula into the side, underneath the parchment paper, and just gently slide the cake out. Voila! My cake is all done now, and I absolutely love how this cake turned out. I love that color and the fresh berries on top. I just added some blueberries, strawberries, and little slices of tangerine in an ornate pattern, and it really elevates the cake and gives it this elegant look. And I love how easy it is to make. You just have to make a sponge cake, whip together the mousse, and you have this great cake ready for a dinner party. Now it's time to give it a try. Get a little bit of that sponge cake, the mousse on there. Absolutely delicious. That mousse just melts in your mouth, and that airy sponge cake just great complement to that mousse and of course the fresh berries in there. This is just how my mother used to make it. It's absolutely delicious. For today's video, I use strawberry Jell-O and my variety of fruit. When you make this recipe, feel free to use any type of Jell-O and any type of fruit combination. It's going to turn out great with whatever you have on hand. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to visit my brand new website where you'll find the full recipe for this, and then you can share it with your family and friends on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram.